Hello, my people, and welcome to Life with Mona. So this week we're talking about leadership, and with me here is George Nuthu, who is a leadership coach. So George, hello!
Hey, hi!
It has been so long. Like what? We're talking earlier, it's been like
20 years.
20 years. 20 years. How do we live almost always in the same city and not see each other?
20 years and still in this same city, but you've not changed.
Oh, thank you.
Still the same.
Bless you. It's exactly what someone wants to hear. They have not changed. No, but even you, if I met you in town, definitely. I'd be like, George. Yeah. Okay, cool. So George, when we last hang out, or when we were last in the same circles, you were a pastor at International Christian Center.
Yes.
Tell us more about what you're doing now.
Right now, I'm a certified coach, and I concentrate a lot on leadership.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my I focus more, but also I do other things. I talk to people about transition, but my focus is mainly on leadership.
So transition, transformation?
Yeah, transition, you're finding people moving from one stage to the other, like people in their 40s, they've reached that place, they want to make a transition, maybe want a new job, want a new thing. So I've seen that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Other people are approaching retirement.
Okay, so
and they want to make, that's
transition.
another area that they're thinking about, how am I going to retire? So I seem to get a few of those. Yes.
Okay, we'll touch on that because it's funny what you're saying about people in their 40s changing. I've noticed that with a lot of my friends who are like between 38, I'd say, and 42.
Yes.
Someone has worked somewhere for 15 years and suddenly they're changing, either their place of work or their whole entire profession, doing different things.
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll touch a bit on that because I think that's very interesting. But let's dive into leadership.
Yes.
First of all, just taking it right from the top. What exactly is leadership?
Leadership has various aspects, but I think the best definition I like is what John Maxwell says, leadership is influence. You see, influence.
Wow.
I think it's just how you influence people, how you help people become better. And for me, I see influence as kind of three things. A good leader supports, stars, and serves.
Okay.
So those are three things that a leader does.
Okay, just break each one of those down for us. Especially the one for serves, because I think that's the one a lot of leaders miss out on.
Yes.
We'll break down the three for us.
Interesting, a lot of people, there's this servant leadership that has become a catchphrase that many people are saying. And
leadership from the bottom or something.
Yeah, something, I'm a servant leader, I serve.
Yeah.
But you find that if you're a servant leader, then the needs of those who serve take precedent.
The needs of those
you serve take precedent. You are there not to run your own agenda, but the agenda of those who you serve. That's one. And I think the problem in leadership, we go for the perks, the positions, the power, the prestigious places, because leaders always sit in front. Yeah. Leaders are served first if there's food, So we go
they're
for
served different food.
Exactly. There are places they serve different food. I mean, you go to burials, the chicken and all the good food goes to the pastors.
And what about Nairobi?
So you see, you get used to that, and you think that's what leadership is, and that you find that people want leadership because of that prestigious position and title that they have.
But then there's a balance between being a servant to the point of where you can't work and having the I am a leader thing, right?
Yes. Yeah, definitely, because once you want to serve people, really, you're interested in making their situation, their lives better. Yeah. Okay, you find that, and as you had said earlier, people trust you when you listen to them. Okay, you want their needs, but even as you hear their needs, it's so that you can lead them from a better place, because you know what they want, what it is they want, then you're able to know where they need to go. Do you see?
Okay.
So you find out that's where the balance is. That does not mean you don't lead, because they want you to
lead,
to take them somewhere, but you take them somewhere when you really know what they need and what they want.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So that's what serving. Okay. Then there's the place of support.
That's a productive serving.
Yeah, the good kind. Yeah, the good kind.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Serving. Another thing is support. People need support. Even just the part of listening, because at times people just want to vent. People just want to be heard. They don't even want a solution. But they need to know that you're hearing them and you're supporting them.
Yes. I laughed at the support one. Again, I think most of my experience will come from this neighborhood where I was serving as. And I remember before, I never used to understand that when people are complaining, and ours was our WhatsApp community, when people are complaining on WhatsApp, or when you show up at the meeting points or where all of us congregate for a drink or whatever, people will see you and start complaining.
Yes.
And they'll complain and complain and complain. And I was getting so frustrated. And this friend of mine said, let them vent. Like on WhatsApp, okay? Someone is writing and you see Mona is replying. He called me. He said, get off your phone. I said, why? Let them vent. Now is not when you talk. Let them vent. At the end of the day, then now put everything together and come back and give your solution or promise a way forward. So that's what you're talking about. Support. I'm listening.
I hear you.
I hear you. So I used to say following.
Yes.
Yeah, after another comment, following.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm here.
And then there's the third one of stirring people, especially in times of crisis. And in times of crisis, at times people need an encouragement. People need to be told, okay, you need someone to take charge. When there's a crisis, like I'm thinking of the estate situation, there's been a burglary, there's been, everybody is down.
So or angry.
Angry,
if anything involves a child, of course, there's that emotion that is coming up.
Yes. And at times people are stuck, they don't know what to do.
That's true.
So they need a voice of reason to look at situations and say, listen, this is bad, but we are going to do this. So
that's the stirring now.
Yeah, that's stirring. Like or when people are down. Yeah.
Okay, the solution. The light, we're going this way.
Exactly.
Okay.
They're like, this has happened, but this is what we are going to do. This is the way we're going to help. This is what we're going to do. Do you understand?
Okay.
So in times of crisis, when people are down, stirring them up. But also when people are celebrating.
Yes. Let's come together.
Let's come together. They say, where are our leaders? There's something happened. Where is so and so? They feel you're not part of them. So in that place of even stirring them, both in difficult times, but also in times of celebration. I think another thing that leadership, people they think you need to have a title. But there are very many leaders without titles.
That is true.
They're very influential. I mean, when you can see in the estate or even in certain grouping, people wait for one person to talk.
Yes. Or if you want people to show up for a meeting, make sure this person is coming.
Exactly.
Then this meeting will be attended. If you miss like 2 or 3 of those guys, you're like, no one will show up.
Exactly.
And it's true. It always happens like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So those are leaders. Leaders without titles.
Yeah.
They're influencers, key influencers. So for you as a leader, is trying to know who are the influencers. If I talk to this person, if I
win this person,
that's it.
Yes. So tell me something, now that we're talking about the influencers, again, the people who find themselves there on purpose or by mistake. There I'm saying I have consistently found myself in that position by mistake. Yeah. Let's talk about natural leadership. Are there people who are born that way?
Yes.
And then cultivated? Can anybody be a leader? Or how do you build the leader within you?
Leadership, there are some people who have got natural abilities for leading. And even you can see with kids.
Yeah.
I remember when
we were kids. See it in kids?
Even in kids. You can just see kids in the estate.
Yeah.
Like boys, they're playing football. There'll always be that one holding the ball and directing. You understand? He just everybody.
And picking the teams.
There's always one kid, everybody likes going to their house. Yeah. Their house is always full.
True. My niece, she's 3 years old.
Yes.
And for her, she has no concept of you're an adult and I'm a child.
Yes.
So there was a time the cousins came over to just, they were like coming from different parts of the world. She meets all these guys. She goes around, my name is Thea, and you are? And she'll go to each adult and then she says, I want to play a game. So she made them play this game, Penda. And they formed a circle and she was like, you're in the wrong place, move back. Not like that, do it like this. And people are so endeared by how she's doing it that they fall in.
That's a leader right there.
I need to tell Ronnie this.
That's a leader right there. So some people have got natural abilities. It's inborn.
What are the natural abilities? What are the things that make somebody a leader?
That they're listened to. When they say they're confident.
Okay, confidence.
Like you're talking about your niece.
Yeah.
Confident. Yeah. And they're able to just direct, just say, okay, let's form a circle. And they'll do that. And people just, as you said, endeared to them. Yeah. I mean, you get fascinated. This little kid, and you kind of find out. But they are leading.
Yeah.
Do you see?
Yeah.
They also got a soft heart. They like people.
I think that's important. Have a genuine
interest in people. They come, how are you?
Yes.
They find that they'll talk to you.
Yeah.
They'll say, oh, you've got a nice flower. You see, they're able even just to give comments and compliments. So some of those things, that's natural.
Do you think our mothers were very good leaders? Just as you said that, I always use my family as an example because we were 6 children. My mother worked full-time, my father worked full-time. So when my mom would come back home, we'd all remember, on her way home, we'd all remember the list of things that we were meant to have done to help manage the house. And usually you'd have like 15 minutes between when you realize.
So they're trying to catch up.
Yeah, catch up in those 15 minutes. And by the time she's driving up the driveway and her car is switched off and you hear her shoes, stop, everything is done and everybody is kind of like, we're done.
Oh yes, oh yes, definitely. Parents is natural position of leadership. Yeah, because you have to lead the kids. You have to inspire, you have to influence the kids you're preparing the kids for future.
Yes.
Do you understand? So how you influence and inspire them. Because stories are always told. Great people, the parents, especially the mother, had a big influence.
Oh really? Is that the case?
Barack Obama talks about the mother and the grandmother.
That's true. All the time,
All the time. You see the story about education? You say educate a man, you just educate him. Educate a woman,
you educate a village.
A village.
Yes.
Because a woman will go and say, listen, what I learned, let me teach the kids.
Let
me teach.
True. Let me teach my peers. Let me teach the other women. Do this in your house. Do this.
Exactly.
So now that we're talking about women, the place of women, let's dissect the different types of leadership between men and women. I know we've touched a bit on how women lead. Give me a bit more on how women lead, and then we'll go into men. Both the pros and the cons.
Okay. When it comes to women in the corporate and business world, there's a crisis.
Wow. Why do you say that?
The model of leadership is skewed to men. So you need to be abrasive. You need to be confident. You need to have it all together. Do you see? You need to be
an iron lady.
Yes, you need to be networking, and all this. So a woman walks into that space. I've had stories where women actually even change their dressing.
Yes, I was just about to say that.
They start
wear darker colors, more, clear-cut lines.
You're shown.
Yes.
And I think I have a friend of mine who encourages women when it talks to leadership, just be yourself.
Yeah. Put in your femininity.
Because it gives you an advantage. You've got intuition. You care about people. You nurture people. You are able to hear them. A man, you can be in a meeting with a team. A man will just want the targets and he will not notice there's one man or somebody in the team hurting. But one will just look around and say,
this guy was not.
So after the meeting, let's talk. What happened?
Actually, that's true, because I think even just where we hang out, like I call it a local, but it's really in my neighborhood, we have like a place where we hang out. You'll sit around the table. Again, as you know, most of my friends are men. You sit around the table and all these men show up and people are talking and laughing and drinking and And then they'll see you, and they'll go. And the next day you'll call someone and say, you didn't seem like yourself. And they'll be surprised that you noticed. Or the next time you see them, you're like, are you okay? Because the last time, a man will never do that.
No.
Right? Even for his own.
No. We don't even see. That's a blind spot. Do you understand?
So you're not realizing that this guy is not okay. Because sometimes I'd even tell my brother, this chap, he was a bit off. He's like, really? I was like, yeah, just call him. Find out. Because there's something.
There's that intuition which women should bring. Okay? Just that
and that is something we should embrace.
Don't try to be a man and insensitive. Not just the balancing of even the emotional side. Okay? Not letting your emotions play up too much. Men can be insensitive, okay, but they're not emotional. A man who says, we need to do this, guys, let's do this. Things need to be delivered. So you're not having somebody, coming, there's a target and they feel, I've got this, my girlfriend left me, and you are there. But you see a man, you say, okay, I'm very sorry, but you need to be the target.
A friend of mine was telling me that the other day. It's like, for him, he's a very, this is the job, this is what needs to be done. I am sorry your wife left you yesterday, but guess what? Not my company's problem. We'll meet after drinks and I'll be there as your friend. But here, no.
Yes.
Give me the results.
Yes. That's you see, there's a place of that. But there's also, you see, empathy is a very key thing for a leader. You can't process people like machines. So that's the problem. We just process, stamp. Like you do. Have you done this? No, you've not done that. warning letter next time. Do you understand? You're just like giving red cards and yellow cards and all that.
All those annoying reps, every little offense.
Yes,
come on now.
Come on, yeah. It gets very irritating.
Yeah, I had a writer, who, that guy tried my leadership skills. I was leading. I've been a head writer in many projects.
Yes.
This guy, until we started making, there was always something. There was electricity that was cut off in my house. I don't know what flooded. On my way here, my laptop was stolen. Until at some point, now we were just like, this guy will now tell us, these lions, when the lions were roaring, he'll tell us he was chased by a lion.
Yes,
there was always something. So how do you now deal with someone like that as a leader? Someone who always has.
You see, one thing as a leader is you also have the courage to look at things and address them. Confront issues that don't add up. Mm-hmm. Do you understand? So that I feel like that, say, okay, listen, on this date you told me this. Mm-hmm. On this date you told me this. On this date. So how do you think I think about you? Should I believe you? Really addressing issues.
You put the mirror.
You put the mirror and say, that's what it is. We have work to do. And I understand what you're going through. But all these stories, what would you be in my position? How would you in my position? What should I tell the client?
Yeah.
I can't keep giving excuses. Something has to give. So always just addressing. I think another thing is that as a leader, you're always courageous to address issues. You don't sweep them
Face
under
it.
Face it. Confront it.
Yeah. Okay. So for women, our strong point is the empathy and seeing and listening to the people that we are leading.
Yes.
The weak point might be sometimes not getting that balance where people start to take advantage of you.
Yes.
Okay. So for men, the strong point you said for men is?
They're objective.
Okay.
They're task-oriented.
Task-oriented,
They are really task-oriented. And then people find it easier to follow men.
Why is
women.
that?
I think it's a natural.
Yeah?
It's natural.
Okay.
It's natural. I used to teach Sunday school. Even when
I remember.
we used to teach Sunday school. And at times, I remember we used to ask men just to come to be in class, especially with the toddlers. Yeah. Because I remember a situation one time, one boy was just causing chaos, and the lady teachers just go. So I step into and I say, what's the problem? The little boy just calmed down.
That's true.
He
Actually,
just
Georgie,
calmed
that's
out.
very true.
Yes.
Yeah, because I had a similar situation where when I used to throw parties, I used to throw a lot of parties for kids.
Yes.
And this one time, for some reason, I was the only person serving lunch. And there was like 40 children, all hungry and screaming. And usually I'm very good at getting them in line.
Yeah.
I'm not serving anybody until you form a line. You.
Yes.
A friend of mine walked by. He's like, Mona, you look like you're overwhelmed. It's like, yeah, I'm here alone. He said, excuse me. The kids stopped. This is the line. You first. Everybody queue. Do you know those children just fell into? I'm like, wow. And this is not even somebody I thought would be good with
just
kids.
So there's just an inherent something in men to lead.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's there. Yeah, it's there. So that one kind of gives them an advantage.
Okay. When it comes to leadership.
Yeah, when it comes to leadership. It's very funny. It's very funny in the corporate world. If you look at middle management and part of senior management, there are more women. But when you get to the C-suite level, the chief CEO, it's more men. The only one who's there is the HR, it's a woman.
Yes, naturally, because again, we lead people better. So how do you address that for women who feel like they have less chance of leadership than a man? I
think women need to start believing in themselves. The fact that men are more inclined to lead does not negate the opportunity for them.
Okay.
Do you understand? Okay. I think it's learning from each other. Because men still need to learn from women leaders who are good with people, who have got an intuition. So even for us men, we need to pick that a bit more. That means our emotional intelligence needs to become better.
Okay.
I remember when I was still a pastor, we lost one of our very key members. She was a church administrator.
Yes, I remember.
And I think one time we just sat down as a whole church staff and just talk about this. How are you processing this?
Yes.
And all of us, men, women, all of us, because she was a very close person. By the time
she was like a glue.
She was a glue. She was at the center of it. Yes. So all of us just sitting down and talking about it. And that's processing. It was a very therapeutic and healing session. Now, right now, there's a new kind of leadership that is coming up. It's called human-centric leadership.
And that's probably coming up also because EQ beginning to take its importance in the workplace, isn't it?
Because you have to start feeling people. You have to work with people. You have to know where people are at. And right now with the Generation Z and millennials, you see, for them it's how you take them.
Yeah, the impact, appreciation.
Appreciation,
yes,
do you understand?
Yes, yes.
That's why, in fact, like even coaching is becoming, coaching approach and coaching skills for managers and leaders in the corporate world is becoming very important.
Okay.
Because right now, with the new generation, it's not top down. They'll question you.
That's true.
They will.
Yeah, because, and they have the ability to do that, I find, because they have found systems that are in place and that can run. You see, when we were growing up, we were the ones, or our parents were the ones making the systems.
Yes.
We kind of like made sure that they were running.
Yes.
Now they're running. So these guys, they don't have the same issues we did.
No.
Of you get a job, you stay in it. You know, they don't have that.
They know.
Yeah.
And then you see there's a lot of information. They are on internet and all that. They've got this information.
Yeah.
So
and there's smarter ways of doing things.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you see? I heard of this CEO in a bank appointed a good number of millennials. He used to have an executive lift.
Yeah.
So the older when he comes in, the older crowd would not go in with him. You know, so he would climb the lift himself. So he brings these new millennials. When he's entering the lift, one runs, boss, just hold the lift for me. Do you understand?
Yeah. Because if he's not seeing, like, what's the difference between me and you?
Yes.
We're going to the same place.
Yeah, we're going to the same place. So he comes and says, "Massive boss, your suit is fly." And you see the girl's telling me, he's having to change.
Also, he was telling you about this experience.
Yes, he actually telling me about when you work with these millennials, these young guys. I think you have to be open to them.
They can even ask you for a lift.
Unaenda town, man, boss, eh? Do you see? In deadlines, you see, give them a deadline, they don't meet it. But when you sleep, you wake up in the morning, they send it at 3. They have worked. You see, there's a difference. So coaching them, understanding them. You see, understanding the people.
Understanding the people.
It's about people skills. A leader understands the people, knows what they need. And you know what they need. And we are selfish. Because at the end, what is in it for me?
Yes.
If you're able to connect your vision and your mission to that, show people what is in it for them, then that's always the thing.
Okay. That's the only way that they can believe in what you're saying.
Exactly.
Okay.